right, wonderful. Can Zoomers hear me?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. All right. Shabbat. Dennis, can you hear me?
A little bit.
Make sure I'm turned up all the way here. I'm sorry? I just want to make sure I'm turned up. Yeah, okay. Dennis, can you hear me? It doesn't look like it. Can you turn up a little bit? Hello? Is that better? Dennis, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
It's
All
a
right.
little soft, but it's hearable.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to those in the room, those on Zoom, those watching us on YouTube Live. It's a wonderful Shabbat, and we are going to begin our Shabbat worship this evening on page 15. If you have the Shabbat Festival and Daily Prayer Book, you will find it on page 133, Shiru Ladonai. Page 15 or 133 if you have the big book. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Miyom Liyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Miyom Liyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Miyom Liyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Miyom Liyom Yeshuato. We turn to pages 2 and 3, pages 120 and 121 in the big book. Who would like to light the candles this evening? Okay. Just those right there. And if you'll first choose one of those two paragraphs to read and use the microphone so they can hear you on Zoom.
Is it turned on?
I just turned it on, yeah. Is the green light on?
Testing.
Yeah, it's on.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Okay, light the candles and we'll sing the blessing together. There you go. Oh, that one. Nope. It's still, Nope. That's okay, no problem. It's a little tricky. This happens on a somewhat regular basis. There we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. We continue on page 8, which is page 126 in the Big Book. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other and to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We continue with Lecha Dodi. You will find it on pages 20 and 21, pages 138 in the Big Book. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shem tiferet v'litchila Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki mekor habracha Merosh mikatem nesucha Sov ma'aseh b'machshava tchila Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orek umi ori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. Bo'ivih shalom ateret bala Gam b'simcha u'tzola תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. A Kavanah from outside the prayer book by Joanne Fink. Holy source of love and life, make love the lens through which we view the world. Enable us to see promise instead of limitation, and beauty instead of imperfection. Fill our hearts with love so there isn't room for fear or negativity. Allow us to see unlimited potential in everyone we meet, and to look beyond someone's character flaws to the spark of holiness inside their soul. Let love envelop us. Let love connect and consecrate us. Let love flow through us and make us whole. Page 26, 144 in the big book for the Chatzi Kaddish. Page 26. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולימי ימיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, Da'amiran be'alma, ve'imeru, amen. We turn to page 28, 146 in the big book. As able, we rise and remain standing through the Shema. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la. Baruch hu et Adonai, HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la. Page 30. 148 in the big book. Let's read together in the middle of the page. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 32, 150. Again, let's read together in the middle of the page. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. For Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 34, 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue together on page 36, 154 in the big book with V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot bein einecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvish arecha, lema'an tizkeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, v'item kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 39, 157. Let's read responsively in the middle of the page. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Page 40, 158. Mi chamocha ba'eli Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'eli Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, O seifele, O seifele, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha ba'elim b'kodesh. Page 43, 161. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Page 44, 162. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael, et hashabat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל et hashabat, lasot et hashabat ledorotam, berit olam. Page 46, 164, as able we rise for the tefillah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, umevi geula livnei v'neihem, lema'an shemo be'ahava, melech ozer umoshia umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, magen Abraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, mechaye hakol atarav lehoshia, mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, micha mocha ba'al givurot, umido melach, melach memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atat lahachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. We are seated. Page 55, 173 in the big book. Let's read responsively in the middle of the page. Disturb us, Adonai. Ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans.
Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false shock, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred.
Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears.
Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not sheltered from winds of truth, justice, and reality.
Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. Page 57. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. Page 60, 178. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha livarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol sha'ah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai Hamivarech et Amo Yisrael b'shalom. We take a few moments for silent reflection and prayer, using the words on the next few pages or those that rise from our hearts. Page 62, 180 in the big book. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. 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 Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu v'al kol yoshvei tevel. We welcome the new month of Adar this week. So we turn to page 261, page 379 in the big book, as we share the blessing for the new month. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, Adonai Eloheinu be'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, shetichadesh aleinu et hachodesh haba l'tova v'livracha. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good. Rosh Chodesh Adar Yihiyeh Biyom Revi'i Haba. The new month of Adar will begin on Tuesday night and Wednesday. Do we have any birthdays or anniversaries that I am not aware of?
No, but we have one you are aware of.
Yeah, but I'm not blessing myself, thank you. Later. We turn our thoughts then now to those in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. Page 253, 371 in the big book. Misha berach avotenu ve'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech et hacholim. April Bell, Elaine Boshnak, Bruce Dalby, Bryant Dalby, Nell Dalby, Carolyn Dowlin, Stuart Dowlin, Dolores Ettinger, Barbara Frisbee, Irene Heichman, Rick Kramer, Mary Krause, Pastor Sandra Lifesti, Linda Manning, Robert Manning III, Dennis Martin, Jonathan Meyer, Carol Miller, James Phillips, Joe Robley, Pamela Roberto, Scott Rosen, Shimshon ben Avraham Visara, Mike Stern, Katie Trujillo, Karen Usatine, Marvin Zimmerman. Are there others for whom we are praying for healing this Shabbat? We'll start first in the room. Rob? Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody on Zoom? Eileen?
Ronnie Ames, Jerry Grant, and Annette Ramos. Thank you.
Thank you. Sue?
Steve Weintraub.
Thank you. Anybody else on Zoom? For those we've named and those we name in our hearts, we continue. Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleichem, Lahachalimam L'Rapotam L'Hachazikam, V'yishlach Lahem Mehira Refuah Shliman Min Hashamayim, Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf, Hashta B'Agala B'Zman Kariv, V'nomar. Amen. We continue with the Misha Berach that we sing in the middle of that page. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. About a dozen years ago, when I was studying Musar, a Jewish spiritual practice focused on developing one's inner character, Rabbi Barry Block suggested to me that my trait of Seder, order, might be, shall we say, a little out of whack and would benefit from some more balance. The truth is, I've always been a rule follower. I like the structure that rules provide. I prefer to know expectations rather than trying to figure them out, and I assume that others do too. So as a parent, as a teacher, as a leader, as a human being, I prefer to establish rules rather than having those around me guess. Give me a solid listing of you shalls and you shall nots, and I'm a happy camper. That is, when they make sense and are carried out as intended and equitably. The World Justice Project, an independent, multidisciplinary organization working to create knowledge, build awareness, and stimulate action to advance the rule of law worldwide, defines the rule of law as a durable system of laws, institutions, norms, and community commitment that delivers 4 universal principles: accountability, just law, open government, and accessible and impartial justice. Our Torah portion this Shabbat, Mishpatim, opens with the verse, "These are the rules you shall set before them." Mishpatim goes on to list 53 civil and social laws given to the Israelites at Mount Sinai before continuing their journey to the Promised Land, including laws about justice, property rights, damages, labor, and care for the vulnerable. There are rules set forth about slavery, capital punishment, and sorcery. The well-known and often quoted eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth passage is in this portion. In addition, God imposes rules about kashrut, lays out the borders of the Promised Land, and instructions for Moses to ascend the mountain. There are rules that have stood the test of time, rules about the 3 festivals, Passover, Sukkot, and Shavuot, a rule about resting on Shabbat, and Shemitah, letting the land rest every 7 years. And then, almost buried in there's this single line. Exodus chapter 23, verse 9 reads, "V'ger lo tilchatz, you shall not oppress a stranger, for you know the feelings of the stranger, having yourselves been strangers in the land of Egypt." According to the Talmud, this particular law appears in the Torah 36 times, or maybe it's 46 because the Talmud disagrees with itself. In either case, the frequency must lead us to assume that this particular mitzvah is very important. Rabbi Hilly Haber writes, "The law goes beyond these prohibitions of doing harm. Love the stranger who resides in your midst," Leviticus teaches, "for you were strangers in Egypt." She goes on to say, thus Israelites must offer gerim, the strangers, not only material resources, but empathic understanding. As Rabbi Haber explains, the Torah goes beyond not oppressing the stranger and moves to loving the stranger. In other instances, it's read as welcoming the stranger. The reason cited over and over again is because you were strangers in Egypt. We're commanded to love and welcome the stranger because we uniquely have lived their experience. We have suffered their sorrows. We have stood in their shoes. So who are the strangers among us today? There's Hugo, whose parents brought him to the U.S. at age 10, seeking education and opportunity for their son. Hugo didn't even know about his unauthorized immigrant status until high school, when he tried to get a driver's license. He married a U.S. citizen and took a job as a server in a restaurant, mentoring at-risk youth in his spare time. But he was arrested during a workplace raid and now faces deportation, charged with attempting to use the identity of another, which is a felony under Arizona law. Falsifying the identity was the only way he could work. He is now in removal proceedings and faces permanent separation from his family. There's Soledad, who endured a horrific trip from Honduras as a child. only to face extreme hardship here. Soledad says, many Americans think that migrants come here to take their jobs, to do bad things, to take advantage of the country. These ideas are not right. We are not bad people. I came here to survive, to do better in this world, to help my family and other people. There was no way to survive in my homeland. I was suffering from extreme poverty. I was physically and sexually abused. I didn't choose to come here. I didn't have another option. As we continue these stories of migration, we are called to ask, what does it truly mean to not wrong or oppress the stranger, to welcome the stranger, to love the stranger? These words do not suggest passive tolerance, but rather active support. We need to ensure access to shelter, to legal resources, to health care, to education, and to work permits for those who arrive seeking refuge. Some might argue, but what about the rules? Some of the people who arrive here, those whose stories you shared, haven't gone through the process. They crossed the border illegally. It's a valid argument. But I maintain that the question of how to treat undocumented immigrants is both moral and practical. Welcoming the stranger, even when they arrive outside legal pathways, is not only a deeply rooted ethical imperative, but also a wise and compassionate approach to building stronger, safer, and more prosperous communities. There are, in fact, laws in the United States that allow for new arrivals to our country to request asylum. The U.S. asylum system is supposed to provide refuge for those unable or unwilling to return to their home country for various reasons. The system is broken. We don't have the mechanisms to uphold our own laws. We don't have the infrastructure to support new arrivals through their claims. There aren't reliable systems to record and maintain case data, nor enough training or personnel to hear the stories. There are horror stories of people appearing for their hearings unprepared, without representation, not being allowed representation, sometimes without translators, and judges ruling without a fair hearing. The most compelling argument for welcoming undocumented immigrants is a moral one. Virtually every major religious and ethical tradition commands compassion for the stranger. This principle transcends legality, insisting that our shared humanity must take precedence over immigration status. Welcoming the undocumented stranger affirms the value of human dignity. Welcoming the undocumented stranger affirms the value of human dignity. Many who cross borders illegally are facing violence, persecution, poverty, or environmental disasters, circumstances beyond their control. To turn them away or to treat them as criminals for seeking safety and opportunity is to ignore our ethical obligation to care for the vulnerable. There's also the practical argument. Undocumented immigrants contribute significantly to the U.S. economy. According to the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, undocumented workers pay an estimated $11.7 billion annually in state and local taxes. They also contribute billions to Social Security, despite being ineligible to receive those benefits. Far from draining resources, they help sustain social welfare programs that benefit all Americans. Studies have shown that welcoming immigrants, including the undocumented, helps fill critical labor shortages, particularly in agriculture, construction, and service industries. Rather than taking jobs, they often do work that others are unwilling to do, helping to keep the economy running smoothly. It is incumbent upon us to work to help create pathways to legal status, allowing undocumented residents to fully participate and contribute to society. Until such pathways are established, welcoming the stranger means recognizing their humanity and their right to live without fear, even if their presence does not conform to current legal frameworks. History has shown that civil disobedience, the intentional and nonviolent refusal to obey unjust laws and policies, has played a crucial role in challenging injustice and fostering societal progress. The abolitionist movement, women's suffrage movement, the civil rights movement, and the LGBTQ movement have all contributed to changing unjust laws and customs. As a Jewish community, standing with the stranger should not be a theoretical ideal, but rather an ethical obligation. Mark Gary, Executive Vice Chancellor Emeritus of the Jewish Theological Seminary, writes, "When the political discourse devolves to generalizations about Muslim immigrants being terrorists and Mexican immigrants being rapists, we are called by the Torah to remember that Jews, too, have been the subject of such pernicious generalizations, and therefore we know the feelings of the stranger. They are feelings of isolation and often helplessness. The Torah commands us to combat those feelings by standing with the strangers among us and speaking on their behalf. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Shabbat Shalom."
Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to everyone in the room, those on Zoom and those joining us on YouTube Live. I am so glad you could join us tonight. Thank you for a beautiful message, Rabbi. Just a few announcements tonight. First of all, a member meeting this Sunday at 11 a.m. on Zoom. The documents will be in your email, including the Zoom link. So please join us. We'll make it just an hour. If anyone starts going over an hour, I'll start interrupting them. Also this Sunday at 1:30 p.m., and there will be plenty of time because we'll be done with the meeting, the Mahjong Club will be meeting. Upcoming adult education classes. This is the last chance to register for our Hamantaschen baking class, which will be held Sunday, February 22nd. If we don't meet the threshold of 6 people by Tuesday, we will need to cancel. Hebrew classes will meet on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. from March 5th to May 25th. Next Friday, our third Friday, we will have our no-host dinner at Bernie Vietnamese Restaurant. That's just up the road on Wurzbach. And finally, on February 27th, we will be celebrating Purim with a wicked Purim. So the people who have volunteered for the spiel have been working hard, and we will have a good time. We will eat delicious Hamantaschen, and you know the General Megillah. So that is it, except we also have a handout from the Hebrew Free Loan Association. I put it in the chat for those on Zoom. Just some information that has been shared with us. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. This weekly Parsha, Mishpatim, has so many important elements to it. The immigrant issue, the stranger, the helping the poor and the vulnerable through the, which is why we have the Hebrew Free Loan Association flyer this week. Also, this week is known as Repro Shabbat, Reproductive Rights Shabbat, because the verse that teaches us about the Jewish view on abortion comes from this parsha as well. So it's so full and meaningful. If you have an opportunity to read it, the link was in the newsletter. Whew. All right, we are going to continue our worship this evening with Aleinu L'Shabeach. You will find it on page 282, 586 in the big book, As Able We Rise. Einod, 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 Einod. Continue singing Einod or join me in the verse. Aleinu lishabeach la'adon ha'kol, take gedula le'otzer breshit, shehu note shamayim v'yosed haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo begofhei miromim, hu Eloheinu Einod, Einod, Einod. Va'anachnu kore'im u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu Einod, Einod. Page 287, 591. Einod, Einod. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yehiyeh Adonai echad u'shmo echad Einod, Einod, Einod. Page 295, 599 in the big book. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at the season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This Shabbat, we remember Jeanette Sanders, aunt of Lacey Dalby, Bertha Hudson, mother of Rod Hudson, mother-in-law of Cynthia Hudson, William Blau, grandfather of Maury Goldstein. Is there anybody else observing your site or remembering somebody for Kaddish? Anybody on Zoom? We remember 10 people who perished in the Holocaust: Tibor Sheffer, Chaya Kurtz, Mina Marta Gross, Gaspar Antal, Bert Dove Matthias, Joseph Fogel, Clara Meyer, Lenka Lustig, Sultan Robinson, Laios Mihalyi. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for blessing, as we turn to the words of the mourner's Kaddish on page 294, 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'almei amaya. Yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit shomam v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav huya aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens help us to make peace here on earth and send peace to all who are bereaved, as we say. Amen. Please be seated. We are going to conclude our service this Shabbat on the back of our bulletin with Olam Chesed Ibaneh. chesed yibane. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai, then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Shabbat Shalom. Who would like to lead us in the Kiddush this evening? Which is wine and which is juice. Water.
All right, here we go. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, B'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemahaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta, V'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, b'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Thank you, Maury. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz, b'tei avon.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbos,